Hello, Aldwyn, Altuney here. So great to be with you. Such a beautiful day here on the Gold Coast. And I'm with two other amazing people on the Gold Coast whose business has been absolutely booming since and during COVID. And we're going to talk about how is that possible. We're here with Martin Renaud today and Anastasha Grace. Welcome. They are the founders of Freedom Potential Centre in Varsity Lakes, and they have been flat out with clients since the official launch on October 1, which was about a month ago now. Absolutely flat out with clients from all over the world. And I can't wait to find out more and share with our beautiful viewers. So welcome.
Thank you, Aldwyn. It's nice to be here.
Thank you so much, Aldwyn.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I know how busy you guys are. You've been absolutely just run off your feet. So thank you for making time to share your wisdom with us today. So firstly, just a little bit of your own personal backgrounds would be great to hear, and then how you came to actually starting the Freedom Potential Centre. So who would like to share?
How about you go ahead?
Start?
Yeah.
We'll start? Okay, beautiful.
So I am a transformational coach, and Martin is a specialist in live streaming and events, video production. We have been in the coaching industry basically from both sides of the coaching industry for many years now. And obviously COVID has made such a great impact on us, very unexpectedly on our lives and the way we work. So that's kind of how Freedom Potential was born. I work with clients one-on-one and in groups. And in 2020, I actually had at least 10 or 11 events scheduled throughout the year. And guess what? It changed very, very fast, so we had to pivot, and especially Martin had to pivot a lot in his business, where I could still work with my clients over Zoom. What happened to your clients?
Yeah, well, I'm in the video production business. I've been in the video production business for 15 years, and lately, the last 3 years, with live video events, filming live events, workshops, conferences, all sorts of educational presentations. And for the last 3 years, I've been working on location, so going to all the hotel rooms, conference rooms, and traveling around in Queensland and Sydney with my equipment. But when COVID happened, unfortunately, all the events were canceled and moved really fast to a virtual environment, which is something that I've been doing for many years. And it was a perfect opportunity to create a studio, a hub, a space where people that are affected, like speakers, trainers, educators that are affected by the fact that they can't hire rooms anymore. They couldn't hire rooms during the higher the most dangerous time of the pandemic. It allowed us to create a studio where they could come here and be part of their virtual event and produce their virtual event on site in a studio.
Yes, so that was a business literally born out of necessity. We were trapped in a small space, and I had the ideas of recording this online course and that online course. And at some point, our whole living room was transformed into a video studio. So I went, no, that's not working for me. I need my living room back, and I need an office. I need somewhere where I can work with clients. You remember how it happened, children all at home and homeschooling. In one room, my child is getting homeschooled and she's talking. In another room, Martin is consulting his clients very enthusiastically. And here I am. I work with quite sensitive issues for my clients. And I said, as usual, women are the ones that are kind of, create this little push. So I said, I need an office. I need somewhere where I can record online courses, where I can go and live and keep expanding my business. And Martin had very strong need for his clients to invite them somewhere. So that's how we started the hunt for the venue. And I think it was the best thing that actually happened to us.
Absolutely. And to speak a little bit, to answer your question about our background. So my background is in video production, but this is my 7th studio. So I've been setting up studios since 2005, 2006, and been involved in all sorts of multimedia experimentations, as well as screen resource centers, where I was heading a film school, actually, in Melbourne, called Open Channel, but also that had equipment hire, studios, sorts of networking events, seminars, and it was like a link to the industry, basically, for the emerging and the independent filmmakers and screen practitioners. And then I moved to Sydney, and in Sydney I was managing a studio, doing like live broadcast and equipment hire. So, like, all through my career, I was, setting up studios, and I actually do this, and I've been doing this through COVID a lot. Individuals or small businesses that require a studio at home or a studio in a room in the office, where they can record regular content. So I've been doing this quite a lot. So it's quite natural for me to open a space and to fit it out for a broadcast quality, multi-camera, live switching, virtual hybrid events facilities. A studio that is very, very functional. We can have up to 30 people in the room, as well as creating all sorts of different type of content, whether it's on the green screen, whether it's on stage, whether it's with a display like behind me, little groups, trainings, all sorts of things. So I really pride myself in setting up studios, choosing the right equipment, putting workflows together that are very efficient for all my clients to actually really benefit from creating all their content and putting their content out, in the public, whether it's live stream or it's on a membership site or other form of distribution. So that's
and
that
I want to
my past.
I want to add as well that Martin in the past is an artist. His background is actually in art and performance art. So when it goes all artistic and all crazy, he's great with like lights and ideas, and we had so many incredible discussions with like clients and projects for turn it into almost like Burning Man type of light and sound productions in there, because when you have your own space, you can create anything you want, unlimited in your fantasy and your inspiration.
Absolutely. We have one of my great inspiration is the latest Tony Robbins Bet with Destiny live events, where he has like I think it's probably about 10 meters wide set with multi-projection. So all around him, like there's this drape in 270 degree, we call it a cyclorama, and with back projection. So you can see up to 5,000 people, little squares, every single participant in the event, like in front of him, like, while walking around, and there's different cameras that capture that. And then you can, point at someone and then bring them up into the screen and then address this person, do an intervention, and then, like a very like high tech show basically that is put together. And I have I was very impressed with that, and I've actually created multimedia shows that are using like multiple projections and all sorts of different media and on walls or on rooftops and in warehouses. And so I want to do something the same here, having that a cyclorama, because I am actually at the Freedom Potential Center right now while Anastasha's on her phone on location. But basically creating an environment where a presenter can actually have like all the participants in front of them projected. For the moment, we just do this on screen. So if you are like me presenting to you today or having an interview, well, in front of me there's a big screen, and 50 people fit on that screen. There's another screen there for another 50 people. So for virtual events, you can be sitting in front of this screen, and then talking to all those people online, as well as having a small crowd or just your assistants and whatnot. So this is the dream coming true, you know, and it's a space. It's also a space. It's also a cultural space, because that's the other side of me of my career that Anastasha was talking about. As an artist, I was very much involved in producing all sorts of cultural events. And basically, this is also what we're doing here somehow, having planning like networking events, and having and planning live painting events and auctions, having other type of cultural activities that benefit the neighborhood, and also that that we can share online, because everything we do here is designed to be filmed and shared somehow.
I love it. That is so cool. I've seen Tony Robbins do that with all those screens in front, and he, you know, and he's pumped. He's got to be standing, right? Tony Robbins, he's pumped, and he's looking.
Yeah.
You know, it's so cool to be able to see all the faces. Like, what an amazing setup! If you created that on the Gold Coast, you will be busier than ever. I would say people will be flocking there, because it's such an unusual thing to see that, and it takes a budget to set something like that up, right?
Yeah,
and
it's very expensive. That's the thing. Like, his version is extremely expensive. My version will be affordable, and yet like with all the main features, you know. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And, you know, your launch was amazing. The quality of speakers and people that you had in the room, and of course it was limited with numbers, but, you know, it was capacity with the numbers that were allowed at the launch. And I was blown away at the caliber of people, which just goes to show a lot about the two of you, about your background, about the kind of events that you've supported and speakers that you've supported, because a lot of what you do is supporting speakers and small business people who want to get content out worldwide, and also want to have that feeling, as we say, the hybrid space of having a physical environment where you can have up to 30 people. Is it 30 people currently the rules? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So 30 people in the room, and be able to live stream to multiple platforms around the world, and have all that set up, and have the full production studio quality. Is such a unique thing, the only type on the Gold Coast. And you know what's brilliant about it? You know, since COVID, I've taken my media business online, and I actually have a 3-meter green screen in my living space, right? So I'm probably like a lot of people out there, you know, I had a green screen for my photography days. I've got the full on, you know, massive green screen, studio lights. I've got it all set up in my space, and it's not ideal. You know, ideally it would be great to go to somewhere like Freedom Potential Center and actually not have this whole setup happening here, where, you know, people can do that. They don't have to have all that set up at home, have all the equipment. They just show up, and you guys do what you do. So
yeah, exactly. It's so convenient. Yeah. It's so convenient. We have companies like the Blockchain Collective, who are providing an accredited course, you know, a TAFE course in blockchain, you know, the technology and blockchain technology, and so they have set up their regular podcast here. So, you know, awesome. They own a couple of mics, and they try to do them on their own in their office space, but it was always like just too hard, because every time they need to set up the equipment, and then this is not what really they do, and their genius is somewhere else in the business. So when as soon as we opened, you know, they approached us, and we've been interviewing incredible speakers, you know, in their podcast, such as Alfred Slowgrove, who is the CEO of Study Gold Coast. So that's basically the umbrella organization that speaks for every organization in the education sector on the Gold Coast. So they are like literally talking to government about policy in regards to what we do about education. So very, very interesting for us to have him here. And then for the second episode, they had Leanne Kemp, and Leanne Kemp is the CEO of Everledger, which basically does the tracking of diamonds in mines. So as soon as a diamond is mined, their software takes a 3D print, 3D conception of the diamond, and then assign a certificate and into the blockchain for the life of the diamond. Very, very interesting. She's also the chief entrepreneur of Queensland. So she's basically appointed by the government to be representing all the entrepreneurs of Queensland, and an incredible woman again. So these podcasts, they're like turnkey. So they basically, once a week we have a schedule that they turn up, and then their setup is ready to go. They have their guests coming in. We have plenty of commercial car park, a reception area, a green room where we can get ready, get your clothes, get a cup of tea, and plenty of toilet facilities. So it's really, really convenient for a group, that holds a podcast, or someone that has, a regular show, or that wants to regularly or ad hoc, creating content, to just basically turn up and everything's ready, turn the light on, start recording, and we're able to pump a lot of content very, very, very fast and very, very high quality, basically broadcast quality, like you see right now. Basically.
It is that is brilliant, and that's just some of the clients you've mentioned there. Now, you have said to me in private you've had people come to you from all over the world. So can we just share a bit? Where have people come from, and where have they found you?
So, for example, there's a very interesting client of ours. He's from Malaysia. So it's a marketing company in KL, in Kuala Lumpur, and they look after. They have a portfolio of many financial institutions and other investment banks and whatnot, and they have members of their board, of their governance here on the Gold Coast. Because they cannot travel, they needed somewhere and someone to film their executive address to the shareholders and to the employees on a regular basis. It's about once a month, so we film twice a month together. But basically, what we've organized is we're doing the shoot. So the filming is done here in the studio, and we also have the clients in Malaysia on Zoom, and we are feeding the different camera angles to them through Zoom, and so they can direct or help direct the scenes from their office in Kuala Lumpur. So that's a very, very interesting way to work. And we did a similar thing with people in Victoria. So one of our clients now, we were on a non-disclosure agreement before their event went on. But it's Barry Plant, the largest real estate in Victoria, the largest real estate venture, and they have 75 franchises, so 75 offices within Victoria. And what they had to do is, what they asked us to help them create is for their virtual event annual gala, where they present the awards for the best sellers and the different franchisees. So we created over 120 pieces of content, small clips, for the awards night, basically, where Barry Plant, the head of the conglomerate, was presenting. So again, that was a production company in Melbourne that's in lockdown. They couldn't get to their CEO, and because he was residing here on the Gold Coast, and they came to us to film all this content, and all day we were on the Zoom and having directions from the head office there in Melbourne in regards to every little single clip that we had to turn over in that day. So 120 pieces of content that we created on that day, and that was delivered within 24 hours. That's kind of the speed delivery of our workflow here. So once you walk in and you walk out with your content, basically, which is quite unusual in this industry. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Because, editing videos always takes a long time, right? And in this case, you're doing live mixing. So you're actually creating the product as you're going, right? Yeah. And I guess if there is extra video editing work, you're always very quick on delivering on that too, Martin, because you've done a lot of events for me. You've filmed my media workshops. You filmed animal action events in the past, which has been awesome. I really appreciate your support of that as well. Yeah, and you are a very professional operator when it comes to video production. You know your stuff. Love your work. And Anastasha, I haven't worked with you one-on-one personally with your coaching. However, one of my dear girlfriends has, and other people have, and I have heard you are absolutely extraordinary. And I did hop on some of your webinars that you launched as well. Would you like to share a little bit about that? As part of the launch, you also launched a webinar series, and can people still access those recordings?
Well, it's going to become a course now. We run a free event during October as our launch month, and I just want to say, confirm what Martin was sharing. It's so much easier for a person who is content creator, and I'm all about my work, and every time I have to deal with technology, it's just completely kills my vibe, and steals my fire. So I absolutely loved coming into the studio fully ready, with my heart fully open, with my delivery, what I'm going to share, and everything is done for me. All I had to do is just put the mic on and sit down on the chair. It was a amazing experience comparing to when I had to record courses or deal with cameras and all of these things myself.
Yes.
And we really enjoyed creating that project. Another project, and that's called Freedom Potential Mastery course. It's going to be available this week online on my website, anastashagrace.com. And it's all about stepping into your sovereignty, stepping into your power, knowing what you want, getting what you want in life, pushing through the limitations, knowing which kind of voices and which parts of you can be in your way and stopping you from getting you to the goal, like those sabotaging patterns or victim consciousness, victim parts of you. Because let's face it, let's be honest, COVID has affected different people differently. Some people went into complete fear and despair and panic and worry and anxiety, and I had so many clients I had to get out of the stage of constant anxiety.
Yes.
And some people took it as a complete opportunity to renew themselves and change their life around, or break through and open something different, explore something absolutely new. It was such a transformational year, and unfortunately such big transformations usually don't happen without this force from the outside. There's not many people that are going to go and seek struggles or seek difficulties in order to transform themselves and break through their comfort zone. So environment does it for us, and this time it did to the whole of this society, the whole humanity. This external force came in, completely changed our lives around, showed us what's out, like, how it could be different from what we knew before, and showed us who we truly are inside. Are we limited? Are we restricted? Are we fearful? Are we concerned? Are we worried? Do we get carried away by our negative projections into the future? Or we actually able to see at what it is, and what can we do with this? What can we do with the resources that we have? So we did exactly that. We sat down, we had our financial planning. We were just like, okay, taking an extra lease on our family, how it's gonna look like, what are we going to do with this, what projects we are going to be creating, and we're going to do whatever it takes. And we've committed, each of us has committed 100% to this venture. And that's something I will be teaching in my new program, Power Couple, is about being powerful together and living in this co-creative process of life in the empowered state together. When you have one leader and you have another leader, and instead of having a power struggle, or one person constantly submitting or kind of suppressing themselves, we have two leaders and they empower each other, and then you can go every day more and more and higher and better and better, because there are no limits. It just on this planet we have no limits to our creativity, to our capacity, to to our energy, that we can do amazing things if we choose to.
Absolutely. And I certainly see the two of you as a power couple, and congratulations on your wedding recently. Would you like to actually share a little bit? Because I was quite shocked. I didn't actually know you were getting married. And the next thing, I saw all these amazing photos. It was all a bit hush hush. So would you like to share a little bit about your amazing relationship and how you've managed to keep it together and keep it so strong? What are some tips for us? And I know you'll be sharing more of this, Anastasha, on Friday. We've got the Twos Company 25th anniversary celebration. You're going to be speaking at that on Friday afternoon. However, just for our viewers today, and if you're watching this right now, if you have any questions, please pop your comments wherever you're watching this, on YouTube or Facebook. Pop your comments or questions into the chat, and we will come to you and we can share your comments up on the screen if you share during the live. So what are some tips to be a power couple, Anastasha?
Well, first I want to start with sharing the story about our couple, just a tiny story about the marriage and how it was, because that's a curious story. Like, pretty much everything about our couple is a little bit weird and different and peculiar. The way we've met, the way we're first committed to each other. We were already committed in a sacred ceremony by a shaman, so our unit was very, very sacred for us. And then I did an astrology reading with a mutual friend of ours, Muriel, and she said, if you get married, or it has a really good energy, it's very powerful. If you and Martin get married, and it's going to enhance his power as a masculine, as a man. This event of commitment, like a true family. And she said the best day of this year, it was last year, 2019, is 27th of December. Like, all the stars are aligning. It's the best day of the year. If you want to start a new venture, you want to get married, you want to conceive a child, it's just the best day of the year. So poor Martin, like, I had completely no idea. So I come to him after this reading and said, darling, well, before this astrology reading, there was no other conversation about the wedding, but now we're getting married, and I know the date. So we're going to have a wedding on 27th of December, and of course Martin being Martin, he was absolutely cool and super excited, but it was just funny, how out of blue, out of the astrology reading, you end up being married. And then he came up with the idea to go and have a wedding on a hot air balloon. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, it actually that's that's on our certificate, on our marriage certificate. It says married in a hot air balloon above above what is it called again?
But Banga somewhere
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Queensland.
yeah. Badadaba, above Badadaba. So basically, we rented out a hot air balloon for 20 people. Like one of them,
The biggest one in the
very big
Queensland.
basket. Yes, and the family was there from Russia, and we had all our friends, and with a celebrant, we went up at 4 a.m. At the back of Canongra, and had no idea where exactly we would get married. But as soon as we exchanged our vows, we looked on Google Map and pinned the location, which was just above Badadaba. So we are very blessed to have been married in a hot air balloon in such a great way. Um,
Amazing.
and there was a great contrast from being married on the earth, like literally sitting on like all night in a teepee in front of a sacred fire on the ground, and
Yeah,
the second time up in the air.
yeah. So my recommendations about the strengths of the couple, it depends on how aligned you are in your values. And this is one of the main, this is where I start with my clients is what are your values? What do you value in this life? Yourself as a person for starters, because that's going to be directing your life, your inspirations, your values, your goals, your drive, who you are is going to direct you. And then when you're choosing a partner, make sure your values are aligned, that you are inspired by the same things, and you can do things that you like doing together, because love is not a relationship. And people justify or expect a lot from a relationship by saying, well, we love each other. But relationship is not just love. Relationship consists in so many elements, and one of those elements is communication. Another element is your values and mutual interests. Another element is like how aligned you are, and how able you are to be together. There's so many things that like can you as a person consist of, and you got to be mindful that relationship is just like a business. There are ways that make it successful, and there are things that make it not successful. If you go and do everything wrong in the business, it will crash and die, and you will have losses. So the same thing in a relationship. If you go ahead and do all the wrong things, like you're not going to be trusting, you're not going to be vulnerable, you're not going to be like open or communicating, you will do everything to hurt yourself and hurt your partner, or you will withdraw and you will not resolve the issues, or you will just keep quiet and pretend that nothing is happening and close your eyes. If you put all of those things, elements together, the relationship will eventually, unfortunately, to say, die. It will not survive, right? Because if you do that in business, if you don't look at your finances, if you pretend that things are not there, if you don't communicate with your business partners or third parties, with collaborators, if you don't have a proper means of communications, if you're not strategic, if you don't discuss strategy effectively, how far will your business go? So we're very mindful about our relationship, and what also makes it successful is that you prioritize it. because whatever you prioritize, that's where your energy is going to be, and energy is going to flow, and where the energy flows, that expands. If you want to make money in your life, if you want wealth, but you never make it as your priority, or you don't put your energy or your eyes, your attention onto it, but you just wish that it's going to happen, it is not going to happen. And if you want a great relationship, but at the same time you don't prioritize the time, or you don't prioritize the person that you are in couple, how you expect it to grow and expand and flourish, especially over time? So it's basic and simple, but at the same time, people make mistakes again and again and again by assuming, by thinking that it's just gonna happen by itself, that another person is supposed to be doing it for you. It's like a lot of women say often, "Oh no, he should know." He should know what to like, that I want flowers. He should know that I like gifts. He should know that this is not suitable for me, disrespectful. No, he shouldn't. He doesn't mind, he doesn't read minds. He's not a mind reader. He's a human being. And if you have needs, please do communicate them and share about them. Come talk often about values. Check in about your values regularly, because they also change. There was a time when Martin and I, we traveled almost for the half of the year, and that our value was a lot of experiences and a lot of adventure. So we did what? We emptied our bank accounts, but we had a lot of fun time together. Now our value is to build a business. It means that we are going to tighten, in other areas, and we're going to focus on that, because that becomes a priority. We put it on top of our value, but we did it together. And when you come in with the person for the first time, you know, some people are surprised, but I tell them, like, oh, don't drop me. We almost, for 6 months, it was like an interview. It was constant communication. And what if this? Do you like that? What about this? And how about that? What if we're gonna go there? What if this happens? It's just like this interview to make sure that we are compatible in a range of areas, right? Because life is so versatile. There's so many things can be happening in life. I want to know how you are going to be. I want to know your personality really well before I dive in. And it's love got nothing to. I mean, of course, love has got something to do with it, but I will not sacrifice my standards and my values for love, because in order for love to survive, my values have to be met and my needs have to be met. You know, it's like it's very delicate balance. It's like, oh, I love him, so I'm going to be completely, pretending that this is not important for me because I love him, because I value love. But if you value love and you're not valuing yourself at the same time, there's no love for you.
Yes. Oh, looks. I love that. I could listen to you all day on this topic, Anastasha. I can't wait to hear what you're going to say on Friday. Wow, that is some amazing stuff. And what are your thoughts on all that, Martin?
Well, we indeed had a lot of fun in traveling last year, and yes, it is about aligning values for sure, and also making sure that the values are not conflicting. A lot of people, they actually they establish their values, or they think of their values, but they don't necessarily think on how they interact, and a lot of people have conflicting values. So, like, for example, you can say one of your values spending is family, and then another value is money or business. But like, how are you going to be able to put the, not that they're conflicting values, but they can conflict in your life, where you basically are not able to dedicate enough time in your business to make money if you are more focused on the relationship with your family. So
Well,
that's
then you come to me and I'll teach you how to expand, so you can actually
exactly.
can encompass love and your business together.
Yeah, and I'm so lucky because Anastasha is a ninja in emotional clearing and
Yes.
in basically understanding what's underlying like your situation and your emotion. So I'm very
Not just
uh,
emotions. It's more than that. It's all of your psychology. It's all of your psyche. It's how the psyche functions and how the person, like how the human operates. Because the human operates on the unconscious beliefs, and like our unconscious runs 95% of us. So it's really
exactly.
it's important to understand yourself. Which are not we're not taught at school whatsoever. When a little child is born, no one kind of asks them questions. What do you feel? What do you think about this? Is this comfortable for you? What are your, what are you inspired to try to do? It's more like, do this, don't do that, sit here, learn that, repeat that. So we are not trained to understand ourselves. And
Yeah, we're not trying to dig into the unconscious. Basically, we're just there's a lot being repressed in the unconscious that we are experiencing in our life, sometimes traumatic events, and basically when they're relegated to a space where they're not, where it's not at the, in the conscious mind, we can act out. Basically, we can act out on being triggered from past traumas that we're not even aware of, because they were just suppressed, and they don't need to be like really heavy duty traumas. They can just be something that stick, like an episode in your life that was unpleasant, uncomfortable, or even harder, but it somehow affects like other aspects of your life and without you knowing. So that's what I've experienced anyway. Anastasha's sessions with me, because I'm lucky. I've got a lot of those on
he
a
gets
regular
free
basis.
he gets free coaching all the time, and it's
Huh?
amazing. It's
It's a,
amazing because people come together to empower each other. If you don't feel empowered in your relationship, it's not your relationship, because it's meant to be magical, it's meant to be great, it's meant to be joyous, it's meant to be expansive, and you're meant to feel supported and loved and appreciated and accepted and seen and valued in your relationship. That's how it's meant to be. That if it's not going that way, just don't settle for it. And of course, I hear a lot of women say, well, what if there's nothing better out there? What if this is the only thing? And what if, and I don't want to be alone? You know what? It means it's better be off alone and loving and appreciating and nurturing yourself and giving yourself that empowerment and encouragement and growth, rather than being with someone who is impacting negatively on your life. And you will feel it. You will feel it in your body. You will feel it in your soul. You will feel it in your radiance straight away.
Oh, look, I love this conversation. It is so, so cool. So while Martin gets free coaching from you, Anastasha, you get the free work in the studio. So you've got a great match. Freedom Potential Center. You can step in. Martin does all the work with the AV and the technical setup, and you give free coaching. It's a beautiful thing, and so many points you've mentioned. I could go on about. There's a few things I want to point out. Now, on the point of values, now Dr. John Demartini talks a lot about values. If anyone watching this wants to dig further into values and how you can work out what your highest values are, I think Dr. Demartini is one of the masters in this game. And, you know, it's a fantastic thing to actually do the Demartini method even at some point, because that is just, it's so powerful. And, you know, whatever you say about someone else as well, whether it's positive or negative, we all have similar traits. We all have times when we are whatever we say about someone else, right? So it's very important to be conscious of the thoughts that we put out about, you know, what we attract into our life. And it's interesting because some people say relationships are hard work, right? Now, if you put out there relationships are hard work, or business is hard work, right? I mean, this is all relating to how to have a successful and booming business, because, you know, you need to have a successful or happy home life or relationship situation to have a successful business. You know, we see it again and again. We have successful business people, their relationship breaks up, suddenly they go down the tubes. And I know a guy who's a millionaire, he split up with his wife and the 3 kids, lost the wife and 3 kids, you know, and he ended up being homeless, this guy, right? I mean, you hear these kind of stories again and again, you know, so relationships are crucial to having a booming business. So on the point again of some people say relationships are hard work. What do you say, Anastasha, to that?
Oh, I have a favorite saying. It does have use, you know, words that you might have to censor out. Basically, it says, you know, the relationship should be like a fart. It just comes out easy. If you have to push it, so no, you don't. If it's so hard, it means it's a mismatch. You know, you really gotta look into it, because we are energy. We're made of energy. Everything we create through energy, like our imagination, our inspiration, our joy, it's all energy. So it's just a movement of energy. Even the business, you go into business, you open. Why people entrepreneurial, they just can't help themselves, because they need to put this energy into something, but it's just flowing through them. A relationship is also a similar way. You come together and it's an energy flow. It's a flow. It's not something that you constrict it, or you gotta push it, or you gotta press it. It's a dance. If you say dance is hard, then it's just your view on life that everything is hard. Then you will start seeing that everything is hard. Work is hard, money is hard, looking after children is hard, getting out of the bed is hard. That's your mindset on life and view on life. Relationship is a dance, and there's got to be 2 people willing to dance, because it's going to be constant movement. It's like forward, back, sideways, then turn, and you keep going and keep going.
I love that. It's like, come here, go away. It's like the whole sex movement, right? Come here, go away. Come here, go away. It can be like that in a relationship when you have this magnetic attraction with someone, right? It can be, you know, and if you think of the whole sex or lovemaking, whatever you want to call it, you think of the whole act of actually embracing another human being, right? It is a come here, go away. It's a dance. It's a beautiful thing. And it doesn't have to be hard work. I totally agree with you. And if you think it's going to be hard work, you will create hard work even when there's no hard work to be created, right? You will just create drama. And this is what people do again and again in life and in business and in love. They create drama if they think that that's how life needs to be. And the fact is, I think life is about flow. And what you've created with Freedom Potential Center is so beautiful, because you have done it in flow. You've been like, well, we don't want to have a studio at home, and we really need a different place for that. So let's meet our own need with this. And in meeting your own need and in flowing with that, you've now created something that actually a hell of a lot of other people also want and also need, which is just so beautiful. And on the point of relationships too, they say there's 3 C's to relationships. They say one is commitment, one is compromise, and the other is communication. Now, communication, I always say everything can be resolved with communication. If you are able to communicate openly and honestly and authentically with someone, and realize when your triggers come up, not just run away and go, oh, that person said something I didn't like, and so I'm not going to talk to them for 20 years, which is what the kind of thing that people do in families, in relationships. You know, one thing triggers them and off they go. It's like, oh, that person's a so-and-so and whatever, right? And the thing to realize is that hurt people hurt people. So when someone's being nasty to you, realize it's not about you, okay? It's not about you. And bring some empathy, bring some love. The highest vibrations we're going to feel in life are love and gratitude, which is part of why I started the Global Good News Challenge during COVID, right? That's something I've created. We've got a whole lot of Good News Crusaders. In fact, there's a 5-day challenge on at the moment, which people can start before November 6th. Facebook Live challenges take about 3 minutes, and check out Global Good News Challenge page if you want to find out more about that. So relationships are crucial. They say behind every good man is a good woman.
I did disagree with the word compromise, though, because the word compromise for me comes out from disempowered state. It's like, oh, I have to, you know, chop off some of mine in order to fit in this. From empowered position, you can expand, and it gives you flexibility. You know, you can expand to the place where everything is okay and everything is acceptable. So you're not compromising anything. You're just being flexible and adaptive, but that's your choice. And you know, I can't say that I have ever had to compromise anything in my relationship with Martin. It's always been, you know, it's every time is an experience. Every day is adventure. Every day is something magnificent, and it's life. You know, it's alive.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so compromise, actually, that's a very good point. It doesn't quite, is there another C word instead of compromise? Can we put another C word in there that makes the 3 C's of relationships?
Let's not put a C word in there.
You know, put in creativity.
Let's just leave it for dirty talking.
How about co-creation?
Co-creation, I love it.
Co-creation. Love it. Yeah. Love it. That is so cool. And behind every good woman is a good man as well. I just want to complete that bit as well, because it is about balance. It's about the
back-to-back men to women.
Yes.
Doing this, you know, like this dance.
Yes, the dance. The dance.
One behind each other. It's like, I'm behind you, behind me.
Yeah, walking sideways.
Oh, it's so funny. You two are so gorgeous. It's just beautiful. Now, for those wondering, where do your accents come from? What is your heritage for both of you?
Guess. Well, you know already.
Well, I know, but I know, but watching this, no.
And Anastasha knows too. So it's not a secret whatsoever.
So
I'm not French.
Say it. You're not what?
I'm not French.
You're not French.
And I'm not Dutch or, like, you know, Singaporean.
Or Indian.
I am French Canadian.
French Canadian, yes. Beautiful.
Yeah, so my husband is French Canadian, and I'm originally from Russia, and we actually came to Australia pretty much at the same time. He came in 2009. I was here in 2009 and fully moved to Australia from Russia in 2010. And so that's one of the synchronicities. And he also started his life here in Australia, in Melbourne, and me too. And now we are living together on Gold Coast. And he actually moved to the Gold Coast for me. We met in Byron Bay. And then we go to Canada every year. We absolutely love it, and we miss it very much. This year we couldn't travel, and Gold Coast became our home. So it's very incredible. Sometimes you wonder, how does it happen that one person is born on one side of the planet and another person on another side of the planet, and they speak completely different languages, completely different backgrounds, and they meet here, and that's the story.
Yes, that magnetic attraction. That actually, the movie, the secret, the sequel to the first Secret, The Secret Dare to Dream, talks about magnetic attraction, right? And out of the 7 billion people on the planet, the two of you have connected. You've created this beautiful baby together, the Freedom Potential Center, which is so exciting and so great. It was so great to be at the launch, and you had Mishka there, you had performing, you had the live artist as well. Would you like to talk a little bit about your artist that you had there?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, just to make it clear for the audience, our launch on October 1st. For our launch, we decided to do something special and to invite 12 speakers that are previous clients, actual clients, clients in becoming, people that have visionaries, teachers, educators on the Gold Coast in Brisbane, and we produce like back-to-back 12 by 20 minutes live stream, presenting their own topic, ranging from property development to wealth creation to NLP, speaking, women's issues, or sorry,
Women don't have issues.
But like
no one on this
womanly topics, and our launch was then culminating with you, Aldwyn, as our MC, and
it was
best man ever.
Exactly, and a series of other activities. One was musicians, but the one you're referring to is our good friend Jeremy Métivier. Is a Michelin star chef. He's the chef for the Burleigh Pavilion, and in the past few years, he's been promoting his artist career. He's a painter as well, and as a painter, he does live paintings. So over 3 hours, like he paints like a 2-3 meters high, like large canvases. And we had him there doing a live auction of the painting that he was actually creating. And this is a project that we have. So on the 16th of November, it's the first time we will do an exclusive live broadcast of Jeremy's art, as well as a live auction. So people can register in advance at jeremymetivier.com. jeremymetivier.art.com. So that's Jeremy. Jeremy.
I think we'll post it.
Yeah.
We have to post it.
Jeremyier.com. And basically, that will once you register for the auction, you can then watch the public live stream. So it's a multicast. We have first of all multiple cameras and multiple angles, so we can get really deep, close and personal with the artist while he paints over the 3 hours period. It's going to be on Facebook, on YouTube, on Reddit, and with the possibilities to bid on the artwork, and basically to win the artwork anywhere in the world, and then it will be then posted. It's unfortunate I can't show you some of his work that's in the studio right now, but I guarantee it's very, very interesting, and
well, you can see it. You can see it on our page as well. And if you go to Freedom Potential page, you will find his pictures, and you will also find link to his event. Another event that I would like to introduce and share very briefly. We don't have much time left. Is we are going to be holding a networking event on the 9th of December. And this idea we just developed together is to have live stream presentation of each company as well. The company that is going to be participating in networking events, pitching, live pitching, and live streaming, and each and every participant will be sharing the live stream. So this is an opportunity to not just go and meet people in person and make connections, but also do the live pitching and then expand your reach through all participants sharing the live stream. So each of us has a network of few thousand people, and when you share that live stream, you're not only promoting your company, you're promoting everybody else's company. So that building the community and helping our businesses, especially local businesses. The first one is we're going to be doing for the Varsity Lakes business community, expanding their reach. It's so important for us to support each other in these times, and always, not just in these times. We say it like, oh, these times, and we need, but it's always the support is that foundation that we all stand on. So that's one of the events that we're going to be holding.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. And of course, your website, freedompotential.com.au. I'll just pop that up there again. There it is there. And you'll have details there, and on your Facebook page, Freedom Potential on Facebook. Check it out. And this is Jeremy's website.
Materialart.com. Yes, and you can find me on anastashagrace.com. If you have any questions, I'm going to be launching a relationship program as well in December. And right now I am promoting my Path of Manifestation retreat, where there's going to be a lot about stepping into that space, that place of power where you can create whatever your vision is, and this special, like really unique process of manifestation in your life, because I have been manifesting what my true desires all my life, and in the relationship, in money, in the wealth, in lifestyle, in at home, with family, everywhere. It's all about what you create yourself, and that powerful place of creator. That's what I'm going to be sharing.
Fantastic. Absolutely love it. And I love how spiritual the two of you are. And I know with your last house that I had the pleasure of visiting up in the hills of the Gold Coast, you had a sweat lodge out the back. I was very impressed with how spiritual the two of you are. How important has that been to help create a booming business during COVID, your spiritual side?
Well, spirituality is from which we create the matter of our life, right? So we're really,
spirit is you. Spirituality is not something different from you. You are the spirit. Whatever you breathe, whatever the feeling that you have inside, then when you are in your most inspired state, in the most alive. When you look at children, they are in their full spirit. They're embodying their spirit. That's why they're so active. They're running around and nothing can stop them. We suppress our spirit over time. Spirituality is nothing but the path back to your spirit, back to yourself, who you truly, truly are, underneath of the human, underneath of the head, of the mind, of the body, of that life force energy that you truly are. So our connection to life force energy is through the path, the red road that Martin walks on, and I'm having a pleasure to walk beside him. And spirituality is not something separate. It is you, and it's a huge resource of aliveness and inspirations and the deep truth within you.
Nicely said. And what about you, Martin? Any thoughts on that?
Well, that's basically what I was sharing earlier. Of course, and I agree with Anastasha. Of course, it's just intertwined with our life. Whatever access to your spirituality you have, meaning which path or religion or cultural understanding of spirituality that you follow, we all really, are spiritual being manifesting and creating into this reality, this three-dimensional, four-dimensional, fifth dimensional, life. So, like our own grappling with time, the fourth dimension, and with spirit in the fifth dimension is, what really is manifested in our lives. Like how integrated we are, how much we are aligned with the purpose, the goals that we are striving to achieve, really. So that's what this aspect of our life means for me, and for the creation of our business and our family, and whatnot, and our place in society also, like leading leading ceremonies, leading or being involved in your community. It just basically strengthen your bonds, your social bonds, and also brings a lot of energy into what what you are and what you're doing with your life. For me, for Anastasha and I, it's the studio, the Freedom Potential Center. So it really just feeds into like who are the clients, who are the people that are actually rocking up here. We've had channelers, that have approached us, and shamanic teachers, but also, as I said earlier, real estate moguls, and C-suite executives of international banking corporations, as well as it's basically, we attract through our spiritual engagement, we attract who is in our life, and how successful we are with aligning with our mission. So that's me.
Fantastic. And yeah, whatever your, sort of religious background, I believe that, that we have this universal energy consciousness within us, all around us. And there's certain ways you can access that faster, such as meditation. And nearly all successful people I know meditate, right? And meditating is one way you can access that spirit. I believe, and other practices like 5 rhythms dancing. I love 5 rhythms dancing. I haven't done it for a little while, but it is really cool. Free range dancing. And doing what you love, doing what makes your heart sing. I love body surfing in the ocean. I love it. It just and being on the Gold Coast, we are so blessed here. It's like heaven on earth. And, I have Greek, Turkish, Ukrainian background, for those who are wondering about my background, born in Sydney, and I'm such a beach baby. And I as much as I travel 3-4 months of the year too, I love coming home to the Gold Coast. I'm so blessed, honored, grateful every day, regardless of what happens. You can't control what other people do. You can control how you're going to be in any moment. During COVID, you can either listen to all the fake news and believe all the negativity, or you can turn things around, just like Martin and Anastasha have done here today, creating Freedom Potential Center in the last month. Business is booming because they have chosen to pivot. They have chosen to look at things differently. And with that, have attracted some phenomenal people into the business, into your life. And I'm so blessed to know both of you. I think you're amazing. Any final words, and we can chat for another hour easily, any final words on how to create a booming business? Any other final tips before we wrap up today?
Yeah, I have to run because I'm actually at I'm up level. I'm going through another up level. I'm actually right in the middle of my studies right now.
Got it.
For my master practitioner.
Okay.
From me, a really short input would be is never look for outside of yourself. Look inside. That's where everything comes from. You create the outside from the inside. And how much energy you have, where do you put it? Where do you move your energy towards? That's got to be your question number one. And then expand your awareness into the outside world. but the awareness is coming from the inside. So that's my tip on a successful business. And I've been owning I opened my first business at the age of 26, and within less than 4 years, I turned it into multi-level, multi-million-dollar business, and in a very, very difficult environment, in a very different industry, difficult industry. So it means nothing. It means like circumstances outside of you mean nothing. It's all how much you have on the inside and what you want to bring from the inside outward.
Love that, Anastasha. And Martin, any final tips on how to have a booming business during COVID?
Yeah, reach out to people. That's how it all started. When it's called like social economy. When you get involved, when you involve yourself in different communities, activities, then people remember you and remember what you do and the way you are, like your integrity, the way you behave, and your professionalism, and this is where business come together. People say, yeah, I want to work with this guy. So get involved, reach out and get involved. That's a very best advice I can provide at this point.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Martin. Anastasia, any final words before we wrap up here today? Final words. I know Freedom Potential Centre. Check it out. Google it. freedompotential.com.au. Final words.
Thank you very
welcome to
much.
Freedom Potential Centre. You're always welcome. Our doors are always open. Please come and call and chat with us if you want life advice, relationship advice, or technical support. We are there.
Yeah, and stay tuned for Aldwyn's events at Freedom Potential Centre. That's coming soon.
Yes, watch this space. Thank you so much. And if you've been watching this right now, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, comment, share any questions. We'll be checking it as well. This has been streaming to Media Queen TV on YouTube, Aldwyn Altuney Media Queen page on Facebook, and to my profile. Thank you so much for joining us. Freedom Potential Centre, amazing. Congratulations for the amazing work you've done. Thank you so much once again for joining us. And remember to shine bright and light up all those around you. God bless, and here's to an amazing life and business during COVID. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.